Spring 2007. I was working at Planned Parenthood. Ryan was in a master's at U of M. And Carter was in love with Tiger basketball. Ryan's master's mate, Carrie, was a GA, and Joey Dorsey and Andre Allen, who were like awesome Tigers, were in her walking class. And so the next time they came to class, she texted me, and I went and got Carter from school, and he went and met Joey Dorsey and Andre Allen. Joey Dorsey was like our favorite player. And so as a thank you, I cooked dinner for her. And there was this other student, master's student, that Ryan really liked, and his name was Patrick, and so he invited him. And so it kind of became the four of us for a while. I would make spinach lasagna and squash, rosemary squash. And I would just, cook, and they were always studying. And Carrie was from Florida, and Patrick was from Alabama, so they would just come over for dinner practically every night. And then Carrie kind of tapered off. I don't know what... she started dating Brian. And then it was just like a tripod. It was me and Ryan and Patrick. And so the rest of the year went by, and they graduated, and Patrick started working at the for a bowl. And it was his first bowl game, and so we all went. We sat beside his family. And he was walking across the field, and I was sitting next to his mom, and I was gonna, I document stuff for my friends because I appreciate photo ops. And so he was walking across, and I took a picture for him, and the way he smiled at me, I don't know what it was, honestly, but all I could think to myself was lock it down. That's all I said to myself, lock it down. And so I did. I locked it down. He tried so hard for so long. Really, I skipped months of him trying. We met in the early spring. I was always an appropriate wife. I wouldn't try to come between he and Ryan and Patrick. But all the times I would exit, he would find, and honestly, he worked through Ryan. Ryan was... It's like I couldn't escape. So 2008 comes, and I've always been politically active, and so Patrick was all about Obama, and I was all about Hillary, and he would get so angry with me, and he's like, why don't you like Obama? And we would all hang out, and then when Ryan was out of town, Patrick and I would hang out because we were all friends. And we would go to movies and plays, and somehow we never even really talked that much when we hung out, just the two of us. We just sat there. And then it was fall of 2008, and we would go to Patrick's house to medicate. And one night we went, and so like I would walk in and I would sit in the very corner of the sofa, and that would leave like 4 other chairs and 2 chairs and the rest of the sofa open. So there were like 4 seats, and Ryan would always sit in this like other chair, and so Patrick would always sit at the other corner of the sofa. And so we would like medicate, and we would watch these like, things, and I got really high, and so I just fell over. And it was a really long sofa, and he was at one end and I was at the other, so there was still plenty of space between us. And I was just watching the screen. And then I noticed this like feeling, and I could feel the very tip of his finger twirling the very tip of my hair. My hair was much shorter. And I was just like, oh my God, do I feel this? Do I feel this? Do I feel this? Oh my gosh, is he twirling my hair? I was in a state of shock. I knew if I like raised up, everybody would be like, what? And then I realized it felt really good. It felt really good. I really liked it. And that freaked me out. And so I convinced myself that I imagined it. I seriously convinced I did. It was a really mean thing to do to my mind. All my dreams were telling me I was in denial. My tarot readings were telling me to save money and get out. Seriously. I was so in denial about so many things. I like to say that I was so busy trying to save my marriage, I didn't realize I was in love with another man. About a month later, I was like, because Ryan had been there, so he felt the energy in the room that night. He thought Patrick and I were, even though I know he didn't, he knew, but he knew that there were feelings there. I wasn't putting it together. Ryan would always say things, you can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me. And I would never knew what he meant, and now I know. Now I totally know. So, Patrick twirls my hair. I check myself into a hospital. I get out. I go to him. I'm very angry at him. And I tell him I'll always choose my husband. And I leave. And then he starts dating someone. I guess he decides he needs to move on. He hadn't dated in like 2 years. And they fall in love. And they get married. And I'm supportive. So I move away. And I move to Berkeley. Patrick gets married in 2010. In June. I move in October, November 2010. By February 2010 is the first time, or 2011 rather, is the first time I go back to Memphis. And that's when I start having like a freak out, because I only want to go to 2 restaurants, and I couldn't figure out why. I only wanted to go to these 2 restaurants, but then I couldn't go. I was so freaked out. I basically spent 2 days in a closet in my cousin's house. I couldn't face him. It took me from February 2011 until June of 2011 before I was ready to admit I'd had feelings for him. And then I finally admitted them to myself. I admitted them to myself. By August, I told Ryan. And then I told Patrick in a letter. And he was in shock. And he never said anything. That made me angry. So I made him reject me. So I behaved inappropriately. I sent him like 2 more letters. And then he reacted appropriately. And now he's in California. I was in Hawaii in 2012. I decided to let him go, you know. I was just gonna let him go. I felt those feelings. I felt them great. I was gonna let them all go. Let him have a baby with his wife or whatever. Be happy. And there was one day when I was in Hawaii, I felt him so strongly. I thought he was gonna walk through the door. I shaved my legs, especially, because I was like, oh my God. Anyway, I felt him so strongly. I thought he was gonna just bust through the door, so I shaved my legs. That was the day he asked Ryan to be friends on Facebook. So today I was sitting here with this guy, and I'm like, not wanting Patrick, I can assure you. I was wanting very much someone else. And again, I shaved my legs. But Patrick texts Ryan right in the middle of me, you know, in my freak out today over this guy and his energy. He texts Ryan and he's like, hey, I'm in town until Friday. You want to get together Thursday night? We'll see what happens. I don't think I'll see him yet, but it's ever closer. Hopefully it'll just be a conversation.